Good morning, grade 6. Hope all is well. This is your English teacher, Miss Manan, and today we are going to continue our reading lesson Hachiko from page 156 to page 159. So please open your reading books and read along. Before we start reading, let's review how can we differentiate between statements of facts and statements of opinions. A fact is something you can prove to be either true or false. And remember, you cannot change a fact. But an opinion is how a person or thing feels about something. You can change an opinion. If you see these keywords in a sentence, you would know that this is a statement of fact, like dates, numbers, science, historical events, and non-fiction events. But if you see these kinds of words like prefer, think, feel, believe, ER words like prettier, EST words like prettiest, you would know that the sentence is a statement of opinion. Example. Number 1. Dalmatians are covered in black spots. This is a fact. How can I know that? Because I can prove to be either true or false. How? By making a research or looking at a picture of a Dalmatian and reading about these kinds of dogs. 2. Dalmatians are too hyper to be good pets. This is an opinion. How? Because an opinion cannot be proved true or false. And this is my own judgment or belief that the Dalmatians are too hyper to be good dogs. Last time we stopped when Hachiko, the loyal dog, was waiting for his master for many years at the Shibuya station, and that owner didn't come back. Dr. Ueno has died, and Hachiko kept on going to the station every day to see Dr. Ueno. And finally, Hachiko died at the station in the same spot next to the newspaper stand. And of course, Kentaro was very sad since Hachiko died. And now let's continue to read page 156, 157. So please pay attention. I will ask you a few questions about the statements of facts and statements of opinions found in these two pages. Old Mr. Kobayashi was there. He shuffled over to me and put a hand on my shoulder. Hachiko didn't come back to the house last night, he said quietly. I walked to the station and found him. I think his spirit is with Dr. Ueno's, don't you? Yes, I whispered. The big bronze statue of Hachiko is a very famous meeting place. Shibuya Station is enormous now, and hundreds of thousands of people travel through it every day. People always say to each other, let's meet at Hachiko. Today, Hachiko is a place where friends and family, long separated, come together again. I will ask you a few questions related to pages 156, 157, and we will try to find their answers. 1. Identify a statement of fact from pages 156, 157. Explain how to verify whether it is a fact. I think the following statement on page 157 is a statement of fact. The big bronze statue of Hachiko is a very famous meeting place. How do I know that this is a statement of fact? I could research to determine whether this statement is true. 2. Explain whether the following sentence is a statement of fact or opinion. Shibuya Station is enormous now, and hundreds of thousands of people travel through it every day. It is a statement of fact because it could be proved true or false by doing research. Let's move to number 3. Which details on page 156 help you visualize the scene between Mr. Kobayashi and Kentaro? Cite examples from the text in your evaluation. The details: shuffled over, put a hand on my shoulder, quietly, and whispered, help me visualize the scene. These details all reveal the sadness that affects the way the characters move and speak. 4. What significance might Hachiko have for the people who meet in the station? Well, for the people who have been long separated, the statue probably symbolizes family, friendship, and loyalty. And now, let's turn to page 158. Let's look at the heading, the story behind the story. What does this heading tell you about the author's purpose? Why did the author write the story? From whose point of view is this text told? The heading suggests that the author will give information about Hachiko's true story. Her purpose in this section is to inform, to give us information about the dog. And the details from her own personal experience and research show the author's point of view, not Kentaro's. Let's start. Some years ago, my family moved to Tokyo, and we rented a home not far from Shibuya Station. Everyone, it seemed, knew that Hachiko's statue was the place to meet the huge train station. No matter what time of day or night I visited Shibuya, I would always see someone standing near the large bronze dog, with eyes searching the crowd. My Japanese friends told me Hachiko's story. Hachiko was born in northern Japan in November of 1923, and a few months later, he was sent to Dr. Ueno in Tokyo. When Dr. Ueno died on May 21, 1925, they had been together for just over a year. In October 1932, a newspaper reporter wrote a story about Hachiko. The headline read, "A faithful dog awaits the return of master dead for 7 years." People began traveling to Shibuya from all over Japan just to pet loyal Hachiko. Hachiko's vigil at Shibuya Station lasted almost 10 years. He died March 7, 1935. 1 year earlier, a bronze statue of Hachiko had been placed near the entrance of Shibuya Station, right next to the spot where he always waited for Dr. Ueno. There is an old photo of the real Hachiko next to the bronze one, surrounded by a crowd of people. Hachiko seems to be wondering what all the fuss is about. During World War II, the Japanese military was desperately short of metals. Many statues, including Hachiko's, were melted down. But Hachiko was not forgotten. In 1947, a few years after the war ended, the son of the original sculptor made a new statue of Hachiko. It stands there still. Every spring, there is a special Hachiko festival at Shibuya Station. It is always held on April 8th, 1 month after Hachiko's death anniversary, when Tokyo's cherry trees are in full bloom. The Shibuya mayor, police chief, and station master are always there. A Shinto priest performs a ceremony, and Hachiko's friends come to admire the beautiful wreaths of flowers that are displayed around his statue. I thought Hachiko's story was lovely, both sad and wonderful, and I wanted to share it. Kintaro was invented for this story, but I am sure many children who lived near Shibuya Station knew and loved Hachiko. Let's answer the questions related to pages 158, 159. Number 1. Based on what the author relates in this section, what conclusions can you draw about the people who lived in Tokyo during Hachiko's life? The author relates that Hachiko's vigil at Shibuya Station lasted almost 10 years. This shows that people greatly admire Hachiko, which suggests they are thoughtful people who loved animals and valued loyalty, or appreciates loyalty. What is the theme of the story? How does the character of Hachiko relate to the theme? The theme of the story is that loyalty is an admirable trait worthy of honor and respect. Hachiko, who waits for his master at the train station every day, is a symbol of loyalty and devotion. At the end of this story, you will be able to understand that animals deserve to be treated with kindness. People can observe an animal to better understand it, and that animals will be loyal and respectful to those who treat them well. And this is what happened with Hachiko, the loyal dog. At last, let's think critically. The question says, Hachiko is a real character and many of the events in the story really happened. Why do you think the author chose to write this with a fictional main character, which means a character that's not real, rather than as nonfiction? Nonfiction means a real or a factual character. The author created fictional characters to give the story a more personal feeling. The characters illustrate Hachiko's effect on people and show the bond between animals and people develops and strengthens over time. And this is the main concept, which is loyalty and respect. And this is the big bond between animals and people. Your homework for this week is to reread Hachiko from page 156 till page 159 and to review the vocabulary list. Then, you should write the prompt below on your writing copybook to develop a well-organized essay of 4 paragraphs. Many people have a close relationship with their pets. These people treat the birds, cats, or other animals as members of their family. In your opinion, are such relationships good? Why or why not? Use specific reasons and examples to support your answer. The introduction must include a thesis statement and reasons for your opinion. You should give your readers a hook to engage them with the topic. The main body should consist of 2 paragraphs where you provide arguments and supporting examples and facts. And the conclusion should restate the main thesis and summarize central points of the essay.